Good morning once again. Welcome back to the 2023 Gulf South Conference Football Media Day, live from the Hyatt Regency in Hoover, Alabama, right outside the magic city of Birmingham. Now we are joined by the Shorter Hawks head coach Zach Morrison in his sixth season, and quarterback Harold Cook will be the signal caller this year. And coach, last year you said faith, attitude, toughness, and effort, and you said last year would be the year you would get your first win in the conference.
Yep.
And you really sealed the deal, and you guys got it. How did it feel in November to walk away with that first conference win?
The conference win was incredible. I mean, I think that, and Harold, that was one of his starts late in the season for us, but just the energy, the excitement from the guys, and you know, you just talked about the pillars of the program that we laid out this past spring: faith, attitude, toughness, and effort, and really just the guys have bought into that, and they've seen that. But just the win for us against North Greenville was a fantastic win. Statistically, offense, defense, special teams, across the board, we had a great day. It all clicked that day, and there were some other moments throughout the season where you could look back and go, man, there was a close game against Valdosta State, 2-point loss where we're leading in the fourth quarter, and then early in the season where we're leading Valdosta as well, and we're down on the goal line, 11-yard line, and we overthrow our target in the end zone to win the game. So, and then there's other moments throughout the season where you take one play away from the game or two plays, and all of a sudden it turns into a 7 or 8 win season versus a 3-win season. So
it looks good.
Yeah.
Offensively, you were ranked second in the country in touchdown passes. You were ranked number 1 in fewest turnovers. What does that say about not only your coaching staff, but the young men that you're recruiting?
Yeah, I think that the coaching staff does a great job with recruiting. I think that that's one thing that we really pride ourselves on is recruiting and winning the state of Georgia, but then also hitting Tennessee, Alabama, and Florida. So unturn every rock. We've got to, we've got to go to every high school in the state of Georgia, and then we have specific areas in the other states that we like to hit. Tampa being one, which is where Harold's from, and a couple other players on the team as well. So, but yeah, the staff's done a great job with recruiting and just bringing in the right type of players, the right mindset behind these guys, the guys that are willing to grind and work and also attend a Christian school that has the foundation on Jesus Christ.
Mr. Cook, let's talk about your journey from Tampa up to North Georgia. How did it make you feel, not only winning that first game in the conference, but saying, okay, this was the right move for me?
Yeah, it was definitely a surreal moment because not only that, but the coaching staff, like, it meant so much to them. Like, they're in that office day, early mornings, late nights, and I see it. Like, they're not leaving the office sometimes till 1 in the morning. Then we got to get back in it. It's 5 in the morning. Like, those are those early nights, late nights, and it just meant so much to them, and that was the biggest stepping stone for us, and we're getting there, and that moment after that win, it clicked, and I feel like we got the right group of guys now coming in, especially the freshmen too, and returners, like, they just want it now. They work, they're hungry, and I'm very proud of them too, and that was just a big moment for us.
When did it start to click for you as being a starting quarterback, and when did the gravity of that start to hit you? Was it during the off season or during the end of the regular season?
Definitely during the end of the regular season. That North Greenville game, it definitely clicked. Just like Coach Morrison said, we were on. Like, it was that whole week of practice was a great week of practice, and we were hungry, and that's when it clicked. That's you just know, it's a feeling.
I hear you, Coach. You've always said brick by brick. So you have that win.
Yep.
So that's a brick. What is the next step? When you look at it, you got 7 starters coming back on offense, 6 on defense. Some people will say the Hawks are loaded. Is that safe to say?
I mean, right now we've got 94 guys on campus, and we're doing voluntary workouts right now, and I see how hungry they are, and I see the depth that we have at every position. And I think that's where we've possibly fallen short a little bit the last couple of years. Is just the ones were really good, but then getting the 2s and 3s on board as well. And I think right now you look at every position across the board. I mean, there's guys competing and fighting for for that starting spot. And then the guys that are right behind them, they're working themselves so hard just to get to that spot. So I think that really we pride ourselves on that brick by brick mentality. Every day we're coming to work, whether you're the starting quarterback or you're the guy filming every day, the offensive coordinator, that you're trying to improve on yourself and the program, because if everyone's doing that, then imagine how good the team could be. And we feel like we can control our own destiny this year. We feel like this group can really do whatever they want to do. I mean, especially with the leadership that we have on the team, with the guys coming back, with a couple guys that have stepped up through spring, as well as just the overall body of the team and the coaching staff.
When you look at the depth of your team, a lot of people look at the tight end because it's a beautiful position. You did lose a tight end, but you've got other guys in that room that are coming back. Yeah,
so Johnny Deedle is coming back. He finished second in the conference in receptions and yards behind Kyle Morlock. Kyle's at Florida State now. Excited for him. But with Johnny, Johnny's 6'6", 245 pounds. He's worked himself into a great position, and he's a leader he's one of the leaders on the team. They trust him. They know him. I mean, he's a coach that's a player right now because he's in grad school, so he's in his last year of eligibility. But he's got a frame. He's got work ethic, and he's a heck of a player. And then you throw in a couple guys that are new players for us. We've recruited some size. We've got 3 incoming freshmen that are 6'5" and 6'6", so we've got some length at that position. So yeah, it's a good room, it's a good group. Excited to see what those freshmen can do with pads on now.
I think they have some coaches at Power 5s want to have your mind and eyes, because you're obviously seeing what other people aren't seeing in this tight end position, because most teams may have one guy that's 6'6", 6'5" at that tight end spot, but you've got a whole room that could also play basketball.
They could. It'd be a heck of a 5-on-5 team right there. Yeah.
Yeah. When you look at your defense, what can we expect from your defense?
You know, getting a Bruce Guyton back. He wore 0 last year for us, defensive lineman. I think that's a good get. To have him come back for grad school. Tony Bethea has stepped up in a leadership role as well. And then having Artelius Edmond. I think he finished runner-up for Defensive Freshman of the Year in the conference last year, and just a heck of a player. He is special. Trey Thomas at corner. Also a special player. So really having some of those key guys come back and then having some other guys fighting for those positions. There's a lot of guys that have played a lot of football for us, whether it was special teams, and now we're expecting them to play that starting role at a linebacker spot or at a D-line spot, and or just be a role player for us on the defense side of the ball. But still, I mean, in terms of what we're doing, we're not changing that. Defense coordinator's back for his 4th season. We finished 4th in the conference in total defense, which is a huge improvement from 8th the previous year. So I think defensively, you know, losing a couple guys, but honestly, I feel really strong about our defense and what they're bringing every day. I mean, they're coaching themselves right now, which is great through the month of July because it's all voluntary workouts. But they're coaching themselves, and they're finding flaws, and they're trying to help the young guys improve and find issues that they may have in their game, and they're trying to fix that as well. So, and I just hear them talking about it, and it's incredible that they're aware. They're self-aware of what's going on. They're self-aware of what they can do to fix maybe a flaw that they have or to fix their game. So.
Good. And Harold, you are a recipient of all of these adjustments that the defense is making. In the spring game, you hadn't thrown an interception your whole career at Shorter. But then you get to the spring game, and they figure out a way to get to you.
Yeah, they did. We go back and forth all the time at practice, and I love it. It's the competitive energy that we have, and I know I'm a very competitive person, and I go at it with them, and they come back at me. And he made a great play on the ball, and yeah, that's not going to happen again, though. I'll tell you that.
When you look at your quarterback style, do you want to be a runner? You want to be a passer? Or you think you're an ultimate dual-threat guy?
I'm a passer, 100% passer. I let my playmakers do their job, and I feed them.
I hear you. You just want to feed the monster.
Yes, sir. I have to.
I hear you. Coach, when you look at your team this season, what will it take not only to get the extra wins, but also make their way up toward a Gulf South championship?
Yeah, again, I think that we control our own destiny. I think that just in terms of what they're doing, I mean, they're bringing it right now. I mean, the guys on campus right now, they're bringing it. Weight room, they're on the field, and Harold's been leading kind of the charge at doing the field work days. And I think leadership is going to go a long way. I think finishing is going to go a long way. I mean, having those games that were so close. I mean, again, one play against Valdosta State twice last year because we played them twice. I think then all of a sudden the outcome is different. And then an Albany State game that could have gone either way, and you have a West Al game that was tight, and they broke an inside zone play because we peeked our head into a separate gap, and they broke it late. There's some close games last year, so I think that just understanding that how close we are and knowing that there's 4 or 5 plays that could have changed the entire outcome of the season, where we're looking at, we're talking about a 7-4, 8-3 season versus a 3-8 season. So, I think that they see how close we are. The players that are coming back and the incoming freshmen, they see how close we are in these games, and it's just finishing. It's finishing.
Coach, let's talk about the crescendo of this season is also your swan song.
Yeah.
Because this is the last year that you'll be in the Gulf South, and then you'll be moving on. How bittersweet is that?
Yeah, some great relationships that we've made along the way with the coaching staffs, but it's great football in this conference. It's fantastic football. Moving to a new conference, it's moving to a conference with like-minded schools, very similar in terms of size, structure. So I think that it's gonna be a positive thing in the end for us. But yeah, I mean, we want to go out swinging. We want to go out on top. We want to finish this thing the right way. So and these guys they're hungry and they're ready to get after it.
Let's take a look at the schedule that we have so far this season, 2023, for the Shorter Hawks. It is a pretty intimidating schedule when you look at it, not only as far as the conference, but out of conference. You open on the road right here. I don't know if you're going to be staying at this hotel or not, but you'll be playing at Samford to open up the season. Talk about playing a team that was nationally ranked in the FCS.
Yeah, I mean, Samford's going to be a tough game. They're going to throw the ball around a lot, but it was a game that the administration that we got a hold of, and they invited us to come play, and it's going to give us some national recognition whenever we come out here and we play them and we give everything we got, and the plan is to come out on top. Yes, so I really am excited about the game. It was my first game that I ever coached at Shorter. We played Samford in the 2018 season, week 1. So it's now we're year 6, and we're leaving the GSC, and our first game will be against Samford again. So, but Coach Hatcher does a good job at Samford, and we're excited about that game.
When you look at the schedule, once you get to into the month of September and on through November, is there any part of the schedule where you say this will test our mettle and test what we are made of?
I mean, I think when you get into the conference schedule, it's every year it's going to test where we're at. I think non-conference games are going to be, there's some challenge in there, but also just the conference that we play in. I mean, every week you've got to come ready to go. I mean, there were some upsets last year, but really we look at it and we go, man, this team in the conference is right there with that team, and then we see we're driving back from these road games and we're checking the scores, and it's like, man, that's how good this conference can be when we see an upset. So yeah, I mean, I think that conference schedule-wise, you're going to get after it. We're going to fight, and it's a tough conference.
Coach, before I let you go, you may be the person that can talk firsthand about the transfer portal.
Okay.
You lose a tight end, he goes to Florida State. Basically, he goes from D2 to FBS to a Power 5 conference. How was that process, and what do you think needs to change in that process?
The process was interesting. I mean, Kyle did it the right way in the sense of he wanted to be an engineer. We don't offer engineering at Shorter, and it kind of exhausted all the math classes that he could take at Shorter, and he still had a 4.0 GPA. So he wanted to be an engineer. He came in there after the season, and he kind of talked about how that's his path. Past football is what he wants to do for a career, and essentially said, yeah, I'll do whatever I can to help you. Because he's done everything we've ever asked him to do, and I didn't expect what happened, but I mean, he goes in the portal, and 5 days later, he's got 30-plus Division I offers. He becomes a 4-star, becomes one of the highest ranked transfers in the nation. I mean, it was on ESPN, or he was a top 10 transfer in the entire country from Division I down. It was fielding calls from head coaches in college, asking about character and also how do we get them. So hearing from some of the high Power 5 head coaches and group of 5 head coaches, and just how do we get Kyle Morlock on board, and how do we get him to transfer to our school. And I mean, really our sell with everything is going to be family. Relationships is the foundation of the program. So that was always my first reaction. And then it's just sell the heck out of your engineering program, because that's what he wants to do. But him, I think it was at the end it was down between Florida State and Tennessee, and he chose Florida State. And he's had a great spring there. I think he's primed to start at Florida State this year, so which is incredible. So excited to see what he can do now in terms of changes. That opens up a whole can of worms in terms of changes to the transfer portal. I mean, there's a lot of things about it that are good, and then there's also some things that, as a national committee or as a conference, I'm sure that we would want to change on the transfer portal. But it is what it is, and we're taking it and running with it and just learning from it every year. And do we use the transfer portal? We use it for specific positions, but we're not wholesale gonna do that. We recruit high school kids. That's our goal. We're gonna build them up, just like we did Kyle, just like Harold, just like Johnny Deedle. So if you look at the core of the team, they're guys that we brought in from them graduating high school, and they've grown over their 3, 4, 5 years with us.
All right, Coach. Thank you so very much. Good luck to you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And Shorter Hawks poised to make a big move in the Gulf South Conference in their